Hello everybody, welcome to Also Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already and drop a like on this video. I'm trying to hit 100K on this channel by the end of the year, so your subscription would be much appreciated. And again, this will be the last time I promote it. I have a Patreon where you can see my newest deep dive, which is like the biggest one by far. A day early, or 2-ish days early, I guess. Game 6 is about to happen. I'm recording this video a little bit later than I wanted to, but if you want to pay $3 to see that video early, that is an option. That'll be linked in the description. Anyways, like I said, this video is later than I wanted it to be. I'm only going to be releasing this a few hours before Game 6 even happens, but I want to talk about the discourse around the Finals MVP this year. Now, it's not a foregone conclusion that the Bucks are going to win this championship. While the odds are definitely in their favor, I think it's 72% of teams that win Game 5 after tying the series 2-2 win the championship. So the odds are in Milwaukee's favor. It isn't a foregone conclusion that the Suns aren't going to win this series. However, after Game 5 went down, there was a lot of discourse around who the Finals MVP should be. CJ McCollum on Twitter talked about it being K-Mids, which is a terrible nickname in my opinion. Chris Middleton's Finals MVP, or potentially what percentage of the votes would go to Chris Middleton. There is the weird-ass thing that Spencer Dinwiddie said, but really, I'm not going to focus so much on like how players talk about Giannis, which is a topic that we've seen discussed. I think TSO Sage did a video on it. I know Dom2K did. I know a Funky Diabetic did. So that has been covered, and I really don't think I have much to add to that conversation other than, I don't know, Giannis is known for not being very sociable with other star players in the league, so I guess that maybe rubbed them the wrong way, or they just aren't really friends with him and they are friends with Chris Middleton. I don't fucking know. Honestly, I don't care. I just want to talk about why it is stupid that there is even the mildest suggestion that anybody should be Finals MVP for the Bucks besides for Giannis. Once again, if the Suns end up winning the series, then obviously Giannis is not Finals MVP. But assuming that the Bucks do, and assuming that they win in Game 6, which is looking like it will, well, it's clearly Giannis. And literally, TSO Sage said this in his video, but literally the worst game that Giannis had in this series, he had 20-17-5 on good efficiency. I think that says a lot. Another thing that's important to mention is that Giannis has been consistently good. Other than Game 1 where he was just all right, and that was just because he was returning from injury, and I think he only played like 32 minutes that game. He only shot the ball 11 times. They weren't really looking for him. Well, I mean, technically he shot more than 11 times, but only 11 field goals that didn't result in fouls as well, because like actual field goal attempts does not reflect how many times a player shot, especially if that player goes to the line quite a bit. Anyways, the point is, Giannis has been fantastic the whole way through. Of course, he had the 40 bomb in Game 3 or Game 2. Then he had the 40 bomb in Game 3, a game that I attended. And then he had the block on DeAndre Ayton at the end of Game 4. And then he had that lob at the end of Game 5 where Chris Paul tried to take him out of the air. And, like, so that's two 40-point games. And then two iconic plays in the clutch of the fourth quarter of a finals game. So the most iconic plays of the series so far have been done by Giannis. And the most impressive stats have been done by Giannis. He leads the team in I know points, rebounds, blocks, I'm pretty sure steals as well. And then he's not even that far down the assist ladder. He's almost certainly definitely third. He's incredibly efficient. Like, just looking at his numbers, they're so much better. But as I've mentioned with the efficiency thing, Chris Middleton had a 40-point game in Game 4. And that was huge. And he was really, really good in Game 5 as well. Hit a lot of big shots. I believe he had nearly 30 points. I know that did Giannis crack 30? I know he was close to it. If he didn't, he had like 28 if that's the case. I can't remember the specifics. But Chris Middleton was awesome in Game 4. He was awesome in Game 5. He was okay in Game 3. and he was god-awful in the first 2 games. Now take that by comparison to Giannis, who was decent and then amazing, 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 amazing. 4 straight games of being fucking phenomenal. And regardless of how Game 6 goes, even if Chris Middleton has an amazing game and then Giannis is just okay, still at the end of the day, Giannis will have been the main catalyst in the Bucks' success this year. And it's not even like a conversation like, let's say, 2015 Iggy over Steph, where it's like, well, Steph played at about his normal level to like his regular season level. Meanwhile, Andre Iguodala elevated his game, so therefore he's the Finals MVP. Now that argument really annoys me, but I semi-understand where it's coming from, where it's like this guy stepped up, this guy was about as you'd expect. And the thing is, if the guy as you expect is better than this guy stepping up, he still should be Finals MVP. Steph should have been the 2015 Finals MVP. Andre Iguodala stepped up from his floor significantly more than Steph did, but Steph was still the best player in that series, and that's who should be the Finals MVP. Even if you wanted to make that argument for this year where Chris Middleton is stepping up further than you would expect and further than Giannis has, I don't even think that's true. I think Giannis has stepped up from his normal level at the same degree, if not more, than Chris Middleton has. So there really is no argument for Giannis. Then the step below that, there really is no argument for Middleton. I just did a Bugs Bunny on myself. But there is no argument for Middleton being Finals MVP over Giannis right now. Then step below that, something a lot of other people have been saying, is that Chris Middleton should get a percentage of the vote. Here's the thing about that. If it is pretty clear who it is that should win the award, then why should there be votes for anybody else? I think Motown Noah, you guys know him at this point, he said something like this where he's like, if you have 20 people and all 20 people think that Giannis is the best player in the series and should win Finals MVP, there's no point in having 1 or 2 or 3 of those 20 people say, well, Chris Middleton also played well. Like, no, we're all in agreement that Giannis was the best player in the series, so he should unanimously be Finals MVP. If it's that obvious, if we're all looking at it and it's like, yeah, it's Giannis, then that should be the case. And to me, that's what it appears to be. And this is not to take away from the contributions of Chris Middleton, but I feel like this conversation to begin with is just to take away from the contributions of Giannis. Because on top of the fact that he has been more impactful offensively, there's obviously the defensive impact with Giannis, where he has been phenomenal throughout this entire series, and especially when they're running him at the 5, that has been detrimental to Phoenix's offense because it's caused them to run less pick and roll, which was previously tearing the Bucks apart in the first 2 games of this series. So Giannis can be credited quite significantly to how much Phoenix's offense has struggled by comparison to the first 2 games. Granted, they were good in Game 5. It's just the Bucks were even better. But point remaining, defense is a thing where Giannis is far exceeding the impact of Chris Middleton without a shadow of a doubt. And then offensively, he has been a great playmaker, so has Chris Middleton, but he's also been a consistent, efficient 30. And I realize that Giannis doesn't have a tween hezzy splash like Chris Middleton. I realize he wasn't the one hitting the big shots all the time. A lot of the time late, it's Chris Middleton who's getting the ball to make the difficult shot because he is a shot creator. But at the end of the day, the MVP, the Finals MVP, goes to the best player, the clear best player on the team that wins the championship. And right now, that is Giannis. Game 6, I seriously doubt we'll change that, assuming the Bucks win. Maybe something goes different to Game 7, where it's like 2 great Middleton games and Giannis is kind of the last 2. I don't expect that to happen, but that's the only world where I could see an argument for Chris Middleton over Giannis at that point. And that's an extreme that I don't think anybody expects. Now, it'll be real funny if the Suns end up winning the series after all this conversation, and this was pointless. But I don't know. I felt like talking about it. I should have done these videos earlier. I had the idea. I did the Chris Paul kind of disappointing in the finals thing yesterday, and I thought I could do this video as well. If I had just done it a day earlier, both of these would have been better timed, but oh well, didn't end up happening. Look forward to Game 6 in a couple hours. You'll get my commentary about an hour after that game because I have a video that's going to be coming out pretty much as soon as the buzzer ends, assuming that the Suns do lose. But yeah, that is it for this video. Goodbye.